right, we made it. We are here at Lowe's. We're gonna go in. Hopefully they've got the butcher block that we need. According to online, they have it in stock. And we literally went from about -17 to our house to the thermostat. The thermometer says -7 in town here, so it's warming up. But come on with us. Ooh, there's some different stains in that. So here's some. Let's see. It's a Hevia. Alan Roth, the Hevia is what we bought. Yeah. This is Hevia. This is it? Yeah.
This is 8 foot wide.
Yep, 25 inches by 1.5 inches thickness.
Looks like that.
Yep.
Great.
All right, this is what it is. I think we just need to go find a cart.
270.
Okay. All right. Hey friends and family. So we are coming back with you. We're gonna actually do a little bit more with our kitchen small remodel that we're working on today. And we're outside right now with the dogs. We have a bit of a cold spell coming through, and right now the actual temperature they said is -21. With the wind chill, it's -31. So outdoor work is not an option right now for us, for what we're working with. But I figured I'd just give you a little bit of a look. It is a beautiful day. There's some low-lying clouds off in the distance, but not too many. And you can kind of see the sunshine. Right now, the sun, that's about as high as our sun gets, is right there. And in about 2 hours, the sun will start going back down. We are gaining a little bit of daylight right now, but right now it's by seconds or just literally a couple minutes a day. But I just came out with the dogs for a little bit so they can have a little bit of a break and take care of some outdoor business for them. And then I'm going to get started on probably sanding the butcher block down. And we have a couple ideas how we're going to put it in. But we have very small space in our kitchen, so we're trying to utilize the space the best we can. But anyway, it's a beautiful day. A little chilly out here, and we're gonna go ahead and get at it. All right, so this partial kitchen remodel that we're working on right now is we're working on replacing this countertop that is most likely original from the 70s when this place was built. And we have the original cupboards as well. We're saving the cupboards because they're all very sturdy. They do what they need to do. So right now we're not doing anything with the cupboards. Down below here, I've basically taken out all of the drawers and took everything out here. One of the issues we have is this area is so small that the cupboard entrance ends here, but it goes all the way to the back. So we've got almost 3 feet of cupboard space down there that unless you literally put your whole body in that little opening and turn yourself 45 degrees, you can't reach anything all the way to the back there. So we're trying to come up with some ideas there. We can't move the stove. We could move the stove because we have both gas and electric here. However, the only place to put it is this little cubby right here, which is where there was a small refrigerator here. We took the refrigerator out because we have a full-size refrigerator that you can see back there. And so we put that actually in the dining room so we could have our full-size refrigerator and freezer in here. This area over here, I'm going to make into some kind of a cabinet. And then what we'd like to do is put up some live edge shelving here. And then possibly something up top here where we can safely and collectively put some of our cast iron up. But we want to do it in such a way that it's, number one, not going to ruin these beams. And the other thing is, I don't want it to look bad. I do want it to look good, and something that's going to be able to last rather than just a nail in the wall. Eventually, you know, it can get loose and work its way out and all that. But so that's what we're looking at. And the opening to this kitchen area is a little bit concaved, as you can see up top. But there's not too much space because we have the beam that literally runs through the center of our kitchen. So with that beam, you can see we have lighting on the front part of our kitchen by the window, but this beam blocks most of the lighting to the back. So I have like my Christmas village, and actually I leave that and some candles and stuff set up throughout the year and turn on the lights every now and then, and brings a little happiness. And I love Christmas, so it just fits my personality. And then last year I found some more of these under the cabinet lights and installed a couple more of these, which actually helped tremendously with the light down here as well. So lighting is another issue that we have, the way the cabin is set up, but we do our best to work with what we have, and that's going to be awesome. So we look forward to the end product, and then down the road, probably after it gets a little warmer, then we'll deal with the other side of the kitchen. And that way we can bring everything that we're going to work with, the wood and everything, we can bring up to the upper deck, and we can work with things right outside our door here, rather than have to keep going back and forth downstairs in the freezing cold. Like I said, right now, the actual temperature outside is -21 right now. It was about -25 when we got up. With the wind chill, it's -31. So everything freezes in a moment. And it's just not conducive for what the type of work we're doing. The other thing is frostbite. So if we're going to be working out in this and not dressed appropriately, it's just a matter of minutes before you can get frostbite. And we don't need to have that either. Not when it's completely preventable. So that's the space that we're working with. I'll bring you along and I'll show you a little bit of the workshop and show you the butcher block that we're going to be working with. It is going to be the same type of butcher block that I installed into the pantry area so that it will match throughout the house. But I will take you along and show you that as well. All right, we're heading out to the workshop. I had to get bundled back up. Currently, I've got some winter boots on. And can't see that very well, but I got some winter boots. I've got multiple shirts on. I've got a sweatshirt, a hoodie, a thick one. And then I've got my coat here. I know it is camo. That doesn't bother me because it's nice and warm. This was my hunting coat that I got a couple years ago when we were back in Michigan. And I'll tell you, out of all the coats that I've gotten so far, I keep going back to this one because I generally cannot feel the cold through this coat up until this last week and a half that we've had the negative temperatures near negative 20 and negative 25. That's been the first time that I can actually feel some cold with this coat on, but I've also got multiple hats on. I've got an insulated wool hat. I've got the hat to my hoodie on over that. Then I have my my hood on as well. So I'll stay nice and toasty, but we're gonna head on down to the workshop. And as you can see, you don't see too much snow. We had had some fresh snow, and for 4 weekends in a row, we have literally had horrible windstorms, literally hurricane force winds. At our place, they said, the National Weather Service and our borough said that we had gusts anywhere between 80 and I think in a couple places they had gusts close to 100 miles an hour. Either way, the trees were bending over. There's trees all bent down, broken. We didn't have a lot of trees that fell on our property, but a lot of things went flying. Our Christmas decorations went flying. We've had branches all over. We have this one tree, you can see that it wants to come down. It's coming down actually next to our trailer, and we have a neighbor who said he might come over and help us with this because our chainsaw is not working. But right now, the wind, like I said, the wind has just been horrible the last 4 weekends, so it has just moved. And right now, it would have to come down absolutely straight to not hit the side of the trailer, which my guess is if it comes down, the tree's gonna knock it. It's gonna come right down there on that wheel well, which we don't want to have happen. So the neighbor has said that he can come over and give us a hand with that. But the snow that we did have, it blew so hard that what's left behind is in drifts. Some of these drifts you can literally just stand on top of, and because it's so cold, the humidity has literally just been sucked out of the snow that's left behind, and which causes, believe it or not, a lot of dry conditions. So with the power lines that have been down and such, there's been a lot of extra fires the last 4 weeks. And once these trees catch fire or the underbrush, it can go very quickly. So, but that was a little quick tour of the outside of this side of the property. And let's head on into the workshop. Okay, our workshop is heated, and we have 3 different bays, and some of this stuff is kind of in disarray because we've been trying to move around our Christmas decorations and stuff that was in storage. So last night we picked up some 25-foot plastic, and then Derek came out and he hung the plastic so that while I run the sander, even though we do have a small dust collector, we still end up with dust everywhere. So we did that so that we can keep the dust contained in this one area for right now with it being so cold outside, but we can still get the job done in here. We can work, and it's currently about 55 degrees in here, which compared to outside, it feels wonderful. And so this is what we're working with. So right now we have an 8-foot long piece of butcher block, and I'm gonna cut it down a little bit so that it'll fit the countertop area, and then we'll have another space there, but I really want to build a cabinet over that other little nook area. Hey friends and family, this is Derek and Celeste, and it is about 6 o'clock at night, and we have been getting dumped on with snow since the middle of last night. I've actually already been out twice that I shoveled all of our decks and stairs and a pathway to the garage and such, but the snow is just still coming down really, really well, which I'm excited about. So we've got the snow blower, and I'm out with the shovel trying to get some of the smaller spaces that we can't get to with the snow blower. And like I said, the snow's still coming down. They're still saying we could get up to another foot or a little bit more by the middle of Wednesday. So we have no idea how much we're actually in for. But it's beautiful, and I'm loving it. I love mowing lawns, and I love shoveling snow, so this is great. But I'll be glad to go inside too, and we'll get some hot tea when we're done here and call it a night here in probably another hour. Love you guys, and I'll hopefully talk to some of you guys soon. Bye-bye. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, and it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning. Still nice and dark out. We still have snow falling. You can see behind me we had we have a leak in one of our lights, and one of our skylights, that is. And so Derek was actually, we were out here, and he was actually on top of the roof, and he had our what's called a roof rake, and he actually had a good portion of this cleaned off so that he could get up to the skylight area. And so this is the roof rake. And I want to say it extends about 20 feet once you extend it the full distance. But we did get that taken care of, at least the best we could for now. We won't be able to do too much until the snow stops and we can get up there. But I just wanted to show you last night. We were out. I had shoveled multiple times throughout the day. Last night we were out here. We shoveled, we snow blowed, and now this morning, this is where we're at this morning. It's still coming down. We still have a winter storm warning, so they're expecting for our area, they said anywhere between 5 inches to another foot of snow before tomorrow midday. So we'll see what happens. But we hope you guys are having a great day and staying warm, but enjoying everything. And we will keep you guys in the loop, keep everybody updated on what's going on here. So I was just going to show everybody what I'm doing, starting with the remodel with our cabinets and drawers. This is one of our drawers. This house was built back, the upstairs is a log cabin, and it was built back in 1972. These cabinets and drawers are original to the house. I was going to take the faces off and strip them down and then repaint them and put new hardware on, but they are actually attached. I took the screws off, but they are attached by multiple staples, like close to 20 staples. So I'm going to actually clean the whole drawer, and then the front and the edges, of course, I will use this wonderful product called TSP. It's phosphate free. It's a very heavy duty cleaner that will take off any kind of residue, especially grease, from any of these surfaces. So that's the first step I'm working with today. And I have another doctor's appointment this afternoon, so I only have a short amount of time right now. And then when I get back home, I'm hoping to at least get the first of the drawers done so that we can get them dried and ready for painting. But that's what I'm working on so far, and we'll keep you guys updated. I did go out to the garage because the TSP is a heavy duty cleaner, like I said before. It can be pretty harsh on your skin. So what we work with in our workshop, when we work with wood, metal, steel, anything, are these wonderful gloves here. These Venom Steel. We are not, just so you know, we are not obligated to show you any of these products. We don't get a kickback. We're not sponsored by these companies in any way, but these by far are some of the very best gloves we have found at the big box store. So this is what I'll be using while I'm using the TSP. Right now, I'm not going to use any further eye protection because I do have glasses. But if I find that this stuff splatters more, I have tons of eye protection that I can go get some safety goggles or something similar to that if I feel that there's a need for that. I'm going to spray these down and get them scrubbed up so we can start the process with the first round. All right, so this is the first drawer. I've already taken everything out. I use the vacuum to sweep out any little pieces of wood that has broken off and any crumbs that were left behind from what was in the drawers. I've already done that part. I'm going to take this TSP, I'm going to spray it down, I'm going to let it set just for a few moments, then I'm going to start the process of wiping it down. I'm going to do the inside first, just to get it all nice and clean. Once everything is all dry and clean, then I will actually go back over with a wet cloth and rinse it really good with water, just so we don't have any of those harsh chemicals left behind. And then I will get this face done, but I'll probably use a little bit more TSP on here because I want to make sure all the faces are extremely clean before we strip them down any further, and definitely before any paint is adhered. So I'm using two different types of sponges for all the drawers and cupboards. I have a magic eraser, and then I have a Scotch-Brite. It's supposed to be a non-scratch pad. We buy both of these in bulk. Costco, we get the blue ones, the Scotch-Brite at Costco. So we buy them, I think there's like 20 in a pack when we get them. So it lasts pretty much the year, or a good portion of the year. And these magic erasers we actually buy in bulk off Amazon. I think we got like 200 this last time for like $14. But we found a great deal and invested in that. I'm going to use the magic erasers for the inside of all the drawers because I know there's not any heavy buildup in the drawers. And then on the outside, on the faces, I'll use the Scotch-Brite pads to make sure that we get any kind of residue, grease, grime, any fun stuff off from there. Just add a little bit of more spray. Believe it or not, that stuff, it actually dries pretty fast. So in preparation to get these drawers ready as well, I have been going behind and labeling everything on the very backs. So this is drawer number 4. In our kitchen, I have one area where there's 4 drawers, top to bottom. So I have them labeled because, believe it or not, each one is a little bit different in size. And that way I'll know where exactly they go back. Once I have everything, all the cupboard doors off and the drawers out. So I'm labeling them, I'm vacuuming them out, and then I'm spraying them with TSP, letting them set for about 5 minutes, scrubbing anything that needs to be scrubbed off, and then letting the TSP dry after I wipe it down. Then I'm coming back with a mildly warm cloth, just with water, to rinse it off and wipe down any kind of residue that might have dried using the TSP. And that also rinse some of that TSP residual that we used on those drawers. That will actually help take some of that off, so we just have one nice clean drawer. I'm not going to be painting the inside of these drawers because I do like the wood and they're all in excellent shape. But the face fronts, definitely I'll be painting all of those. So, but right now, our first drawer is done being cleaned. So the next step for this one, I'm going to let it dry just a little bit longer. I can still see that some of the areas are still wet. I'm going to let this dry, and then I have to leave here in about an hour for an appointment. And because I went outside, I had 3 different head coverings on because of the temperature, so I need to go get cleaned up for my appointment. But when I come back, I will resume and we'll continue stripping down these drawers and cabinet doors. So we are also finishing up our beef jerky today. And Derek made 3 different types of beef jerky this last week. This time he used an eye of round, which we seem to prefer over other meats, but the other meats are still good as well when we make them into jerky. And so we're just finishing up 2 different batches. This batch I have in front of me, it's a very small batch, but it's got a product called Saigon Sizzle on it. We used to buy that in Michigan when our kids were really little, and we would use that Saigon Sizzle when we would have like chicken fried rice and different dishes like that. And then, so I also have in the dehydrator another batch which has 5 trays. That particular batch has, it's also made of the eye of round and it's cut in thin strips, but some of them are a little bit more chunkier than others. This actually has blueberry bourbon sauce on it, as well as some other spices and yummy goodness. Another family that we follow here in Alaska that live not too far from here. They are called Flat Tire Farms. They have they have their own storefront where they sell quite a few things, but they sell homemade soap, and they make a blueberry bourbon sauce. And so we tried this last year for the first time on our beef jerky. We found it the first time we came here. So as I was saying, we found the blueberry bourbon sauce the first year we were here. And one of the expos we went to, they had a stand, and then little by little, we found that the blueberry bourbon sauce could be found a couple other little places that they partner with. But the blueberry bourbon sauce turned out to be very awesome. We tried it with some beef jerky last summer and really liked it. So this other batch is made with that blueberry bourbon sauce. I do have the dehydrator set at 160 right now, and I will come back and check on this in about 6 hours. It's definitely going to take more than 6 hours. It's probably going to take somewhere between 8 and 10 hours. This room is a walk-in pantry and storage area for our overflow for the kitchen. So this room stays about 55 degrees on a given day. If the door is open, sometimes it warms up to about 63, but generally this door stays shut so that we can keep everything at one consistent temperature. The dehydrator I do have pulled away from the wall because we have the logs, and with the dehydrator it's gonna actually warm this room up pretty well. And so we have that pulled away from the wall a couple feet. But we're going to go ahead and let the dehydrator do its thing. And then today I'm bringing you along to do more work on our kitchen remodel. We worked last night taking the doors and drawers off and labeling them, and we removed all the hardware, the hinges, and labeling those so we can put them back in the same place. With the exception to the hardware, I'm going to switch out the hardware for the doors and drawers, but the hinges in that we're going to put right back in the same place because we're just going to reuse the same cabinets that are there right now. We're trying to brighten up that area because it's so dark, and the lighting that has been installed in there only lights the front part of the galley kitchen, not the back part, and that's because we have, like right above me, we have one of these beams that goes through the center of the kitchen, and it blocks the light. So I have put in some lighting underneath the cupboards, but it's not LED lighting, so we have extra cords hanging and everything. The lighting works well, but we're going to try to rectify that. We are going to lighten the cabinets. I decided we're going to go ahead and paint them. As much as I don't like to paint solid wood cabinets, I'm going to go ahead and do it to try to brighten it up in that little area, and then we'll put some fresh hardware on the doors and drawers to make it look good. And the way I look at it is it's a lot of work, it's some paint, but if for some reason I don't like the color, I can always change it. And the doors and drawers, even though they are outdated, they are from 1970s. We're pretty sure the cupboards and drawers are, and the countertops is exact to what was placed in here once this was built in 1972. But everything is so sturdy and made so well, and this is like a log cabin style home. And I don't have to have the latest and greatest. I don't have to have the 2025 or 2026 newest cupboards out there just for the sake of having something new. I just want something nice and functional that we can keep clean and is usable for the space that we have. But I'm very frugal, very, I like things to be nice, but I don't have to have brand new everything to make my life be happy. And so we're going to move forward with that today as well, and I'll bring you along. So right now I'm continuing to strip down the cupboard doors and then the cupboards. I'm taking everything out one cupboard at a time as well. I have very limited space to place everything, so I'm kind of doing it all together, but this is what I'm working on right now. And the product again that I'm using is called TSP. You can get this at your big box store, Amazon, but it is phosphate free, and it works wonderful. We had a coffee stain, I had a molasses stain on one of the cupboard doors, or not the cupboard doors, but one of the shelves. And when I sprayed this TSP on, I let it set for about 10 minutes and the whole thing came right off. So I let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes, then I come through, I wipe it down, and right now I'm using, I was looking for my sponge. But I'm using a magic eraser to wipe this down so I can scrub any little surface that might need it. And then once I get that all scrubbed, then I come back through with just a clean cloth with water on it. I rinse them down, dry them off, and I let them sit for at least an hour before I do anything else with them. All right, so what I'm working on now is I have been up here. I have taken everything out of these cupboards, and I had like a village, like a winter village all set up here. I took everything down, and I have completely TSP'd everything from the tops of all the cabinets all the way down, and literally scrubbed them and then rinsed them all down. They're in the last few minutes of the drying phase. And then I'll move to the next section. Once we get all of the cabinets done, then we'll be able to start with some painting.
All the way down.
All right, so here is the kitchen. I have literally spent 12 hours. 12 hours it took today to remove the rest of everything that was in the cupboards. On top of the cupboards, that was literally stripping everything down with TSP and then going back over everything and rinsing it, and then going over everything with clean towels and drying it, letting it set. It was the scraping of all the little felt pieces that have probably been there since 1972, and all the little parts that were left behind from the previous owner when they were putting things up. But we have it ready to go. So in the morning, we'll put up the tape, and then we will start our first coat of paint, which we're hoping to.
So, hello everyone. So today, actually I can't say today, over the weekend we had an issue with our power. We had a lot of rain Friday. One or multiple of our outdoor outlets were giving us a tripped breaker. So I had to go around and figure out which outlet. I think we nailed it down the outlet, but after replacing a couple outlets, went around. Nice little tool to have with electricity. I am not an electrician, so I'm just putting that out there. This little tool here tells you if you got things wired right. You can test your GFCI outlets from here. Our outlets are not the push button kind. Our GFCI outlets are actually wired into a breaker in the panel that'll trip down there. So basically, you take this thing, plug that in there. As long as I got 2 orange lights, I've got power there and I've got it wired correctly. Now what I'm doing today is going outside here, out on our deck. I've got one more outlet to replace. It's actually wired backwards. Your ground or your neutral wire and your power wire are flipped out here. So I'm gonna head out here and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. And I'm gonna replace that outlet anyways because it probably needs it. It's probably original to the house. So let's follow me. What are you doing in my way? Let's follow me out here. I'm stuck on my tail. Okay, welcome to our outside. This is the outlet that I'm going to be replacing. But right now, what triggered me to come out here, well, I went through all these outlets outside, plug that in. Notice I got a orange and a red light. So on both top and bottom, probably because it's only got 2 wires going to it. I don't know yet. But if you look, it's got a little edge in here and it'll tell you a red light and an orange light mean you're hot and your neutral wires are reversed. So I gotta get in there. I could just reverse the wires, but this outlet again it's old. I'm just gonna replace the outlet and be done with it. Oh, let's test something else here. So yeah, next I'm gonna want to trip anyways. Okay, so I gotta go down. I'm gonna shut off the breaker and we'll be back to replace an outlet. So I went down our breaker panel. I flipped the breaker. Always want to check the circuit anyways. I'm gonna be sticking my fingers in there on the wires, and 110 volts can hurt. So no lights, I've got no power. I am going to check it again along the wires with this, just to make sure once I get the cover off. So, come in here. Get this off real quick. Back?
Yep.
No. Shoot. So I have now dropped all the screws probably down to the ground. Hang on. But I've got more, so that's okay. You can deal with that. Oh, here's one. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. No big loss. Okay, so I'll take my handy dandy little electricity finding thing. Just gonna run it over the wires, run it around here. This thing will yell at me if these are energized. And you can see my helper here. Don't chew on my stuff. You pull this out. Your black wire is your hot wire. Your white wire is your neutral. Hot wire should be on the smaller of the two. Your neutral is going to go on the longer of the outlet pieces. So I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to grab a screwdriver, and I'm not going to grab that screwdriver because these are put in the back. So this is a quick connect type thing. So I think hardly what. Okay, I haven't used this kind of secure. I may not want to record this. So I'm clipping the wires. I'm gonna strip the wires back so I can put them on. Normally you use wire strippers for this. I can use a cutter. There. Got a good little bit there. Do the same here. Like I said, I'm not an electrician, so the back door. So this outlet, it's got quick connects on the back. I could pop those in the holes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the screws on the outside. And we'll get this thing hooked up. Got my ground. Tight. Come on. Right on. Get the neutral on here. Put that out a little. Make sure. There we go. Don't leave anything exposed. I got the bend of the wire going in the direction that the screw gets tightened down. So that way it's not going to loosen up and pop out. Okay. That's pretty good. Now, put everything back together.
Having, when we determined something was wrong with these outlets, was we're having some extreme cold temperatures, and the blower to our heater in the downstairs stopped working. So temporarily Derek had to rig up a severe temperature extension cord from the garage and then bring it to the house, and that helped so that we could use different outlets, because we ended up having 5 different outlets that this particular breaker dealt with. And because it was cold and it was already dark, we tried to narrow it down and then do more work the next day once we could go run into town to the store. So the fan wasn't working. All of our lights, we had actually ran into Home Depot that night, and when we came back, all of our outdoor lights, Christmas lights, all the lights on both of the decks, by all 3 of our doors, everything was out. Unfortunately, whoever wired everything, some of our outlets inside the downstairs are connected to the outdoor lighting breakers as well. So anyway, that's just kind of a side note of what took place. We were able to reroute the heater. We were able to plug it into a different outlet that was not out in the downstairs, so that we would have the heat blowing. And then Derek rigged up the extension cord from the garage to the house for that night. As it turns out, the type of internet we have, it's actually fed in through that corner of the house as well. So all of our internet was out as well. So anyway, this should be getting things fixed.
Okay, done. Because my cover is going to slide on over. cover slotted out. We can do that. Do that. Slide that over. And then I can tighten things down. That's one. And there's two. Okay. Oh, let's see, running around out here. Okay. Now we got a new outlet. We're gonna go flip the breaker back on. And test it. And make sure we got good.
Hey everyone, we thank you guys so much for joining us today in our video. Our videos are going to start coming out more frequently, and it's getting really late. It's after midnight here, and I just wanted to thank everybody. I know we only have like 16 followers, or 16 subscribers at this point, but there's a lot of people that watch the videos that are not subscribed, that we do get messages from, and we really thank you guys for the few that are watching them and actually send us nice comments back. We're going to go ahead and call it a night, and we do have another part to the video that we'll put out in the next couple days. That will be the rest of the at least the painting part of the remodel, and the start of the live edge shelving. I do have the first one done and in place, so I will show some clips of that in this next video as well. And we'll also have a new recipe coming up in this new clip. But thank you again so much for being with us and being patient with us. We hope you guys enjoy our content. Please leave us some comments. If anybody has some suggestions of what you'd like to see from Alaska or learn about, please let us know. And we will see you guys in the next video.